When a business finally collapses, it usually looks like a math problem, a sudden lack of cash. But that financial failure is almost always the final symptom of a silent, operational illness that started mutating months or even years earlier. Small and medium enterprises are especially exposed. Without the massive cash reserves of multinational corporations, a single lost anchor client or one heavily delayed receivable can trigger a fatal cascade through the entire company. When that cash crunch hits, the standard reaction is to panic. Founders start flying blind, often burning whatever scarce capital they have left on expensive external consultants who deliver thick reports filled with surface-level observations. Dr. Mike Tang takes a completely different approach. His framework treats a failing company exactly like a dying patient entering an emergency room. You don't start with a wellness plan. You start with ruthless, immediate triage. This interface is the AI Turnaround Powerhouse, a digital front door that democratizes this elite recovery expertise. Instead of waiting on external consultants, owners can instantly diagnose their internal corporate viruses and map them to one of three distinct paths. The digital triage tool locks the company into a strict clinical survival roadmap. It isolates the acute crisis and forces leadership to execute emergency stabilization before it moves you out of the red surgery phase and into the green resuscitation zone. In the first hours of a crisis, speed and an exact diagnosis are far more valuable than a cash injection. Companies rarely die of mystery illnesses. They die of late diagnosis. That brings us to phase 1, surgery. The singular, unforgiving objective here is crisis intervention to stop the acute financial bleeding. This diagnostic flowchart uses predictive financial modeling, highlighting the Altman Z-score to pinpoint bankruptcy risk. Then, a 12-week cash flow stress test simulates default scenarios and creditor demands, so leadership rehearses the crisis before it drains their accounts. Armed with that brutal timeline, leadership has to act. This means executing immediate, decisive cost-cutting and restructuring the organization to face its new, harsh reality. But there is a strict surgeon's role guiding this process. Management has to slice away the financial fat and drain the excess overhead, without ever severing the vital muscles and core assets that the business actually needs to function. Drafting a 5-year strategy document means nothing if the patient dies on the operating table today. You cannot start the healing process while you are actively bleeding out. The moment the bleeding stops, you enter phase 2, resuscitation. The emergency is over, and attention shifts to restoring the pulse and revitalizing its vital organs. Operationally, this means ruthlessly pruning any product lines that no longer earn their keep. Every remaining resource is then aggressively concentrated entirely on the services that actually generate reliable profit. To find profit, we reposition market strategy. We identify what customers truly value and where competitors are weakest. Their intersection is your exact competitive advantage. By funneling marketing exclusively into this sweet spot, the business restores margins and commercial momentum without wasting cash. Surviving the surgery of phase 1 only earns you the right to try and transform. This revenue revitalization is the required oxygen funding the final, most difficult phase of recovery. That final step is phase 3, therapy. The organization pivots away from daily crisis management and begins building a resilient, long-term immune system. A near-death business experience completely fractures trust. To recover fully, the leadership team must undergo a genuine rehabilitation of corporate culture, ensuring everyone is aligned on the new direction and past bad habits are left behind. This implementation roadmap outlines the specific steps to integrate new digital systems over a 90-day period, ensuring operational recovery sticks. Following this rhythm forces leadership to publicly commit to new habits and hold continuous reviews, acting as a crucial defense against organizational relapse. True corporate health isn't crawling back to the status quo. It's actively transforming into a stronger, future-proof entity built to withstand the next economic shock. Once the company stabilizes, it is effectively discharged from the intensive care unit. But the methodology behind the turnaround framework does not stop at the exit doors. We have to stop viewing business health as a distinct project with a fixed completion date. Instead, it operates as a continuous biological rhythm of preventative wellness. This self-diagnosis matrix lists the vital signs leadership must continuously monitor. By closely tracking indicators like cash position, margin trends, and market focus, you spot early symptoms of decline. Monitoring these pillars functions as an enterprise-wide early warning system, protecting against unseen market disruptions. You do not need to fall sick in order to get well. Leaders can run this checkup today, and the appointment costs nothing but absolute honesty. In an economy defined by constant, unpredictable disruption, the willingness to routinely and clinically expose your own vulnerabilities is the ultimate guarantor of your long-term survival.